All right, week 9 college football breakdown here. Really good Big 12 battle to start the day. Two teams well rested, coming off a bye. Got the Oklahoma Sooners traveling to Ames, Iowa. Sneaky tough place to play. Seeing Oklahoma as a slight 1.5-point favorite on the road. Very standard total at 55.5. I have a pretty strong opinion on this game, both side and total. I know Iowa State's 0-4 in Big 12 play. They should have beat Texas. I say that as a Texas fan. Absolutely. Iowa State should have won that game. They lost at home to Kansas State by 1. Played Baylor to 1 possession lost. Same thing with Kansas. So not all 0-4 starts in conference play are created equally. This is not a bottom barrel team like maybe a Northwestern, Vanderbilt, teams like that. I think Iowa State's a very competitive team, and I think this line would indicate that. These last 4 weeks have been an unmitigated disaster for Oklahoma's defense. We'll start it off. I mean, we saw cracks in that Kansas State game, their first loss of the season. They allow 41 points to a Kansas State offense that is really not built to light up the scoreboard like that. We know the massacre that happened back-to-back weeks at TCU, at the Cotton Bowl against Texas. But, even after that Texas game, I know they covered against Kansas the following week, and we'll get to Dillon Gabriel and his impact on the Sooners in a second. I mean, they still allowed 42 points at home to Kansas with their backup quarterback. They were able to move the ball. Kansas was through the air basically at will. Listen, I know Iowa State's offense has left a lot to be desired this year. They're really missing Breece Hall, Jarrell Brock, and some of those other guys just aren't really filling in that void at the running back position. But I think Hunter Decker showed a lot last time we saw Iowa State against Texas. If I'm this Iowa State offense, why would I be afraid to go against Oklahoma? Their pass rush has totally disappeared. Been very inconsistent against the run, and their secondary in particular has gotten gashed. I mean, they're consistently allowing over 9 yards per attempt here over these past 3 games. Deckers was over 9 yards per attempt against Texas. But being back at home now, there's really no reason why that shouldn't continue. If you're Oklahoma, the hope is that you use that bye week to kind of recalibrate that defense. Even improvement from the OU defense, in my opinion, still means Iowa State's going to, get into the upper 20s and, maybe even 31, 34 points. And that could be selling them short. As much as I talked down about Oklahoma's defense, when Dillon Gabriel's healthy, this might be a top 10 offense in the country. We've seen it really all season. Dillon Gabriel's an over 9 yard per attempt guy himself. He's got Eric Gray, who I actually saw today. He's the 3rd highest graded running back in college football right now, only behind Blake Corum and Bijan Robinson. Eric Gray's having a really good year. I like Javante Barnes, the freshman running back. He's coming along. I actually like the way Oklahoma's held up along their offensive line when Gabriel's been in there. So there's really not a lot to dislike about Oklahoma's offense. I think Iowa State's defense is pretty good. There's certain things that I haven't seen from them have me a little bit worried about how they're going to fare in this matchup. Coming into the year, as a guy who follows the Big 12 closely, we heard a lot about Will McDonald, how much of a presence Iowa State was going to have off the edge. We haven't seen that. Really at all. They've been very mediocre in the pass rushing category, and I also think their secondary in some of their tougher matchups has proven to be pretty leaky. And even against Kansas State, Adrian Martinez created multiple explosive plays through the air, actually easier than he did against this Oklahoma defense. This is a young Iowa State secondary that I still think is going to be vulnerable in a matchup like this. With the pace that Oklahoma runs at, Jeff Lebby's that veer and shoot guy. They're going to run with pace. This is just a game that I see getting played in the 60s. And I know Iowa State and what they've put up this year wouldn't really indicate that. I don't like any part of this Oklahoma defense, and I think it's going to take a lot more than just a bye week to fix some of their issues. When you watch them and you see how many assignments they blow and just the lack of awareness some of these guys have, I think Iowa State's going to be able to take advantage. With that being said, I like the way Oklahoma is going to fare in this matchup as well, and I think just the pace that they run at, Iowa State's actually running a lot faster than they have in past seasons as well. I really like this over at 55.5. It's honestly shocking for an Oklahoma game to see a total this low. We played the over against TCU, cashed early in the 3rd quarter. We played the over when they played Kansas. That almost cashed at halftime. The market is not caught up to maybe how bad this Oklahoma defense really is. So we'll take advantage. I haven't locked this in yet. I'm recording this on Thursday night. I really feel good about this game getting played in the 60s. So my heaviest lean in this game is towards the over. And until Oklahoma gets those defensive issues fixed, I would lean towards the Cyclones here as well. I probably feel a little bit better about the over. I just think there's more leeway there. I think if Oklahoma comes out and wins this game, it's going to come They're probably going to score in the mid-30s. But if their defense is truly as bad as they've shown these past 3 weeks, which I think they are, then I think Iowa State's going to light up the scoreboard too. So it might not even be worth trying to pick a side here, I think the better way I'd look at this game is the over 55.5. You see this shirt, Halloween's coming up. We got the Halloween theme. Head over to proud90.com. Unique but very comfortable polos as well. With the colder weather coming, also got a great selection of hoodies and quarter zips. Proud 90 has got all your golf apparel needs. If you see anything you like at proud90.com, use code Fordham at checkout. It's going to get you 15% off your entire order. Code Fordham at checkout is going to get you 15% off your order. Support me, support Proud 90. The rest of the information will be in the description below.